Hello there, folks. Welcome to December to Remember, where we look at some Christmas movies or movies set around Christmas. It's not been uncommon for Hollywood to do this, to have a movie set around Christmas time. Just look at Iron Man 3 and Die Hard as an example of this. But one movie that does not seem to get talked about in the regard for that time of the year, I am reviewing today in special features December to Remember. And we're kicking things off with Batman Returns.
The movie came about as a result of the success of 1989's Batman, giving the Caped Crusader life that he had not seen since the Adam West years. And that movie gained inspiration from the Frank Miller graphic novels Batman Year One and The Dark Knight Returns, a personal favourite of mine, that took the character to a much grittier and dark setting that he had had years before the camp trend had taken hold.
Out of all the actors who played Batman in the Burton-Schumacher era, Keaton stands out as the definitive best portrayal as the Dark Knight. Kilmer was good, Clooney was awful. Keaton just had the brooding, the mannerisms, the voice and the acting presence to make the character work, especially with the duality of Bruce Wayne and Batman. Now sure, he wasn't as jacked as Christian Bale or as Henry Cavill. Sure, but he's certainly a better Batman than Christian Bale, my opinion.
Still out? Are you concerned about that strange, heroic penguin person?
I think he knows who his parents are. There's something else.
And with Danny DeVito, he must have gone through a major transformation in makeup to become the Penguin, as he is completely unrecognizable in appearance and tone.
A riot scene. Gravely assessing the devastation. Upstanding mayor stuff.
You're not the mayor.
Things change.
Michael played off of Danny DeVito's Penguin and Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman amazingly well. It would have been Annette Bening to originally play Catwoman, but she dropped out due to pregnancy. And I got the sense that Michelle was enjoying her role as Catwoman just a tiny bit too much.
I am Catwoman. Hear me roar.
Although that said, if you're enjoying your role, it clearly shows in your performance.
Meow.
And then you get Christopher Walken, a guy who's so creepy he does not need costume or makeup. And he's an example of a villain that need not be theatrical to come over or be put over as a villain. Particularly in regards to how he just abandons the Penguin as he's running for mayor, or just his shady dealings as Max Schreck.
There's a multitude of situations that occur in this sequel. Batman is dealing with the threat of Penguin running as mayor, having to contend with Catwoman, who can't decide if she wants to be his enemy or get under his cape, and Shrek for being a douche in setting Penguin up for mayor election and then ditching him when he knows it's time to bail. These movies have one major difference in regards to Batman's fight sequences, as in, you can actually see what's going on. Christopher Nolan, take note, you might actually learn something. Particularly as Batman takes on the Triangle Gang. You know, seeing these guys fight reminds me of something else. One of the key elements that I've enjoyed from the Burton years is the style of the Batmobile, or as I affectionately call it, the Burtonmobile, because this car screams Batman! From the sleek racing car look to the rear rocket and gadgets that it would have on board. This is a car that kids, and adults, wanted to have that adored cars. It does get used, but not to the degree that I would have liked. My major criticism of Returns is while it does keep Batman in a dark world, which does suit him better, I got the sense it was too dark. But then again, when you give Tim Burton creative control in a movie, all bets are off. Considering the fact this is the man that brought Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands to the big screen, are you really that surprised? I know I'm not.
So how does this movie hold up? In terms of the writing and the setting, it's not something I would hold in the same regard as, say, Home Alone or one of the more modern classics, The Grinch, where the theme of Christmas is ever present. But as a movie itself that's set around the time of Christmas, and after 21 years, it's still enjoyable and rewatchable. And it reminds you of a time when Batman movies offered you fantasy and escapism, as opposed to today's modern cinema with gritty realism, which makes you feel like you've stepped forth into Monday morning when what you really want is that Friday night at the movies feeling. But, all this aside, like I say, it reminds you of a time when Batman movies offered you that escape from reality like we all want today. And as a rating, for part 1 of December to Remember, I've got to give it a good flick bargain. See you next time!